Hi everyone, and welcome to Deb's Digest. Today I'm going to teach you how to grow, or actually how to plant the seedlings for the Kratky Method. First, we're going to learn a very easy way to prepare your jars. In the past, I've gotten mason jars and painted those a dark color. The reason why they have to be a dark color is because algae will grow in the water. But we're going to try something new this season. I bought these vases from Dollar Tree. And I bought socks, and what I did was actually I took these socks and I put them on the jar like so, and then we had the toe and the heel part of the sock, and I just cut the bottom. Now I'll explain what this is later, but this doesn't quite fit. It falls into the jar. This is a 3-inch net cup, but if you put a little sock lip right here, then the net cup fits just fine. All right, so the net cup holds this, which is called rock wool. This is the growing medium, like that. And then this goes in here, and when the plant grows, of course, the plant comes out of the top here, and the roots find their way down through these holes into the nutrient water that we will be putting in the jar. And we're actually at a scout meeting right now, and I'm teaching the scouts how to do this. And my scout, I only have one scout. My scout is filming for me, so thank you. And the water that we use is just plain water with this Maxi Grow. And this is actually chlorinated water right out of the tap with this Maxi Grow here. And this has worked just fine. I got this from Amazon, the Maxi Grow. I forgot to bring my measuring spoon with me, so I went ahead and put it in the water already. So this is tap water with the Maxi Grow. I didn't stir it in yet so that you can see it. Okay. So I also forgot to bring a spoon to stir this in. So the quantity of Maxi Grow that you need is 1 to 2 teaspoons per gallon. And since I have a quart jar here, I just put a 1/4 teaspoon of that. And the pH is really high because the water is chlorinated. The plants like the chlorine around 7.0, and so I just lower the chlorine just a tad with just a couple of drops of lemon juice. So every time you replenish the water in these jars, as the roots drink, you might want to add a little lemon juice. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't, but the plants seem to do better when I do. Okay. Now you've seen my plants growing via the Kratky Method for several months now, so I'm pretty sure you've got the gist of it. These will be growing in my bathroom window where I have ice blocking. That's going to be an experiment. I don't know if there will be enough sunlight or not. But that's where they're going to be. We're going to be trying to grow our plants for the summer. In the winter, the plants do great outside, but in the summer, the heat is just too oppressive, and the plants the green leafy plants turn bitter. And so I'm going to do these inside. Last year we did them inside. They worked great, except for they didn't grow as vigorously as my winter outdoor plants, but they were good enough. So I said, buy this on Amazon. The net cups are 3-inch, and they fit very well in a wide mouth jar, or they fit very well in these Dollar Tree vases with the socks. And these are 1.5-inch cubes, also purchased on Amazon. The brand name is Grodan. And so now to start the seeds, I start them in a container like this. You can use a cookie sheet. You could use a foil pan, a disposable foil pan, whatever you want. And these will actually be sprouting outside. And then I'll bring them in when I'm ready to bring the plants in to grow in my window inside. So I start off with the fertilized water. And you want to get the rock wool nice and wet. And actually, you want to get it nice and wet. I'm going to be transporting this home, so I'm not going to get these as wet as I normally do, but normally I'll put a 1/4 inch of water in there and let it soak up. But since we're going to be transporting these home, I don't really want this all wet. I'll just add more water at home when I need to, if I need to. Okay, now we're going to plant, today we're going to plant arugula, and I think I'll do 2 of those, and I'll be planting a lot more of these at home. And I couldn't find some tweezers, but I usually like to use tweezers to do the planting. Put about 3 seeds into the rock wool, and then just kind of squish it into the block like that. And we'll use this block for the arugula. You can make a little hole in there. You can use the tweezers if you have them. And scoop that little seed in there and just kind of try and make sure those seeds are just covered up a bit with the rock wool. All right, so we got the arugula planted. Now I'm going to take a Sharpie marker and I'm going to write what type of seed I planted in there. Got my marker wet. Usually I mark this rock wool before I get the thing wet. There you go. Okay, and these I'm going to plant kale. And this one's already marked kale. Okay. Now my kale seeds. Notice how the kale seeds and the arugula seeds look almost identical to each other. So that's why it's important to mark your little rock wools, because if you were to try and dig those seeds up and say like, oh, what did I plant in here? You're not going to be able to tell the difference. Now, let's just say you bought your seeds at Dollar Tree, which is not a bad idea. Let's say you did. The sprout rate is not going to be very high, or might not. I'm not saying is not. Might not be very high. I've had friends that have reported that it's not. I studied Central Florida, where I garden, is a challenging place to garden because of the heat. So I studied what companies grew seeds that were really good for Central Florida. And this company right here, Sustainable Seed Company, has the cultivars that do really well. And I've been really happy with the seeds from this company. I've actually had 100% on my kale on the sprouting. So I recommend this company if you're gardening in Central Florida, but most people watching this video probably aren't. But just, go to your extension agency or a university and find out which seeds they like to use. That's what I did. And I was never able to really grow any big tomatoes in Central Florida, and you've seen from my videos I've had some really good success with those. Okay, so now we're almost done. Every day you want to check and make sure the rock wool has not dried out. And because I do live in a very hot, humid climate, and these seeds need to stay wet, algae is definitely going to grow on the top of this rock wool, especially if I keep these really, really soaked up, especially if I'm sprouting these outside. What I like to do is cover this with some foil, keep it in the house for about 7 days or until they sprout. I peek under and make sure that the rock wool is not drying out, and I also make sure that they're sprouting. If the sprouts are getting big enough, then I take the foil off, take them outside so that they can green up, get their chlorophyll going. And then while that's happening, the algae likes to grow. So I just keep the solution handy and keep a syringe handy. And rather than soak the blocks, I'll just soak the seeds themselves. And that keeps algae from growing in the rock wool. And it makes sure those seeds get a direct hit of what they need to keep moist while they're trying to get strong. I'll show subsequent videos of how they're doing, and as they're growing, you'll get to see the story, how it all plays out. Over the summer, we'll see how it does in my bathroom window, which is actually east facing. So it's not really a good window for this kind of sunlight these guys need, but I have a west window that I tried last year, and that western afternoon sun was so hot, the arugula did great, but some of my cilantro and my lettuce got too bitter because it was just too hot. So anyway, that's how you start seedlings for the Kratky method. One more thing, how the Kratky method works is the reason why it works, why you don't need any bubblers or pumps or anything to pump oxygen into the water, is because you always leave a space. So you would leave a space between the bottom of the net cup and the top of the water, making sure the roots are touching the water, and they'll take up the oxygen that's in that space. And then as the roots get bigger, the water level goes down, and it's just the right amount of oxygen that they need. So all you have to do is make sure you keep enough water in your jar. And it's just a very easy, and it's a cool way to garden, especially if you don't have any space. So thank you for watching, and we will keep you updated. Have a nice day.